Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Vishapadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai Jaganath Snan Yatra Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare. So today is Lord Jagannath's Snan Yatra. Snan Yatra means bathing ceremony. This is also Lord Jagannath's birthday. So you all know how Jagannath appeared. Lord Jagannath appeared as Daru Brahma, the transcendental log. King Indradumna wanted to see the Supreme Personality of God. It was in Satyuga. So in Satyuga, the Lord could be seen only through meditation. In different yugas, the Lord appears in different ways. In Satyuga, the Lord became visible through meditation. In Treta Yuga, the Lord appeared through sacrifice. In Dwapar Yuga, the Lord manifests in the form of his deity and is worshipped in it. So in Satyuga, King Indradumna wanted to see the Lord, but as a king, he could not retire. So he was very heartbroken. So then he got the news one day, one pilgrim came to him and told him that the Lord is manifest as Nilamadha on the bank of the saltwater ocean on a mountain top, on a mountain called Niladri, Blue Mountain. And so he got the news, but he didn't know where the place was. And just after announcing that the Lord was manifesting as Nilamadha, that pilgrim, Brahmana pilgrim, wandering mendicant, just disappeared. No one could see him. So, in search of Lord Nilamadha, King Indradumna sent his brahmanas to different directions. And they all came back except Vidyapati. And in the meantime, while searching for Nilamadha, Vidyapati, becoming very tired and hungry, he came to a Shavara village. Shavaras are hunters, the hunting tribe. And they generally live close to the forest because first thing is, like in the Vedic society, the antajas, that is those who are below Shudras, they are not allowed to stay in the cities or village. So they stay outside. And generally a Brahmana wouldn't have anything to do with the Sabbath. But he was tired and hungry, so he just found some residence, so he came there. And when he approached one house, one girl came out, and seeing a Brahmana guest, she very, very heartily invited him to come to the house. And he came in. And the girl said that her father was the leader of the Shavara community. He was a king. His name was Vishavashu. And she was his daughter. And she said, Mother, father has gone out, but he'll come back soon. So you please wait. And when Vishavashu came, and he was very delighted to see that there was a Brahmana guest in his house, which was inconceivable for a Savara to have a Brahmana guest. So very happily he requested him that you seem to be so tired. So why don't you take some rest here? And so he also accepted the invitation, so he stayed. And incidentally, while staying there, he got married to Lalita, the daughter of Vishavashu. And Vidyapati used to notice that Vishavashu used to go out at night, and in the morning when he would come back, he would smell very fragrant. And so he asked Lalita, where does your father go at night? So Lalita said that her father went to the temple to worship Lord Nilamadha. Just by hearing that, Vidyapati became very excited. Nilamadha, your father goes to worship Nilamadha. Will you please ask him to take me also to see Nilamadha? Lalita said, my father is very secretive about Lord Nilamadha. He doesn't want anybody to know. I am the only one who knew that he is worshipping Lord Nilamadha. So Vidyapati convinced her, see, there is no secret between you and me, so you have told me, and there is nothing wrong. So please ask him. And when Vishavashu heard that Lalita told Vidyapati about him worshipping Nilamadha, he was very, very upset. Because those days, for a non-Brahmana to worship the deity was unheard of. And so he was very secretive that if anybody got to know that he was worshipping the Lord, then he would be in great trouble. But Lalita convinced him that please, after all, he is your son-in-law. There is nothing wrong in he confiding in him and taking him to see the deity. So on Lalita's persuasion, Vishavashu agreed to take Vidyapati to see Nilamadha. But before leaving, Vidyapati told Lalita that give us a mustard seed. So Lalita asked, why do you need mustard seed for? And he said, I'll need the mustard seed to worship the Lord. And yeah, Vishavashu actually made a condition that he can take Vidyapati to Nilamadha, but he'll have to go blindfold. So he agreed, but he wanted to have a mustard seed. So while he was going blindfold, he started to scatter the mustard seeds on the way. And Then he came and saw the deity. When he was brought to the deity, his eyes were opened. And so then Vishwavashu went to see, to search for some fruits and flowers. So he went in search for some fruits and flowers. So Vidyapati was sitting in front of the deity with his heart's content. He was seeing the Lord. And at that time, he saw a very strange sight. That next to the temple, there was a pond, and all of a sudden, one crow that was sitting on a branch of a tree next to that pond. As soon as that crow died, and as his body fell onto the lake, and as soon as he got the touch of the water of the lake, he assumed its four-armed form, Vaikuntha form. So Vidyapati realized the potency of this place, the spiritual potency of this place, that just by living his body in that and being in touch with that lake, water of the lake, one assumes his four-armed form, spiritual form. So he decided to give up his body in that lake. But at that time he heard a voice saying that don't do that, because King Indradumna is waiting to get my news, so you go and tell him that I'm here. So in the meantime, Vishwavashu came back, and while he was serving the Lord, he heard Nilamada telling him that that he was taking his service for so long, but now he will go and take the service of King Indradumna. So as soon as Vishwavashu heard that, he felt that this Brahmana has secretly convinced Nilamada to leave him and go to take the service of Indradumna. He became so angry that he just caught him and told him that, had you not been my son-in-law, I would have killed you. But I won't kill you, but I'll tie you down on this tree and let some wild animal comes and do the job of killing you. Saying that, he tied him up on the tree. And when he went back home, Lalita asked, what happened? Where is your son-in-law? So Vishwavashu told what happened. So Lalita came searching for Vidyapati, her husband, and she found that he was tied up to a tree. So she released him, and then Vidyapati left with the assurance that he would come back soon. And he went and he reported to the king that finally he found Nilamada. So just upon receiving that message, King Indradumna, with his entourage and army, set out for Niladri mountain. It's quite a distance, actually. King Indradumna was the king. He was the king of Avanti, which is today's Ujjain, and it's in Madhya Pradesh. And Jaganath Puri is at the end of the eastern side. So in this way, anyway, so he arrived, and then Vidyapati told him that you have to go alone with me, you can't take anyone with you. So King Indradumna agreed. And in the meantime, the mustard seeds that he scattered, they grew into plants. And following those mustard seeds, plants, he came to the temple of Nilamada. But to their great dismay, they found that Nilamada was not there. So King Indradumna suspected that Nilamada has been kidnapped by the Savaras. So he seized the Savara village, searched the village, interrogated different people, but couldn't find. And so he thought that he'll force them to surrender and bring Nilamada by seizing them, and they won't have food and drink. They'll finally surrender. So then one night, Indradumna had a dream, and in that dream, the Lord told him, "Why are you unnecessarily torturing these Savaras? They didn't hide me. I myself have disappeared. And you won't find me as Nilamada. But I have come as a transcendental log in the ocean." So upon receiving the dream, King Indradumna jumped out of his bed and ran to the ocean. And he found that there was a large log. And so he tried to pull the log out of the water. Couldn't. Then he got his men, his soldiers, couldn't. Then he used his elephants and horses, all the strength that he had. Nothing would bring that log out of the water. So then King Indradumna had a dream that if Vidyapati holds one end of the log and Vishavashu holds the other, then they would be able to pull the log. Otherwise, the log would come out. So he did that, but just two of them very easily took the log out. And the log was taken out now. And the king was informed that the Lord will appear, manifest himself from those wood, rather that wood. And so he got various experts, wood carvers and carpenters. And none of them could even lay the chisel on the wood. As soon as they would touch the wood with a chisel, the chisel would just break to pieces. So none of those artisans could carve the deity. So then finally, one day, a very old man came there and told the king that I heard you want someone to carve the deities out of this wood that you got. So I'll carve it. King said, look, so many artists, so many carvers could not do anything. What will you do? I can see that you're already so old. He said, no, I will do it. My name is Ananta Maharaja. I will do it. On one condition, when I'm working, no one should come into that room where I'm working. I'll work in a closed room. So the king said, fine. I mean, if you, any condition, I'm prepared. Then Ananta Maharana went into that room and locked it from inside. And the king from outside could hear the work was going on, could hear the sound. So he was very happy. Finally, somebody is able to carve the deity out of the fruit. So, but then after some time, the sound stopped. And so out of sheer anxiety, the king opened the door. And when he opened the door, he saw the three incomplete murtis standing there, and Ananta Maharaja was there. So the king then became very heartbroken. He felt that he broke his promise. And it is because of him that the deity of the Lord couldn't be complete, because he broke his vow, broke his assurance. So the king decided to give up his body to fasting because of this offense that he committed. So he fasted this way for a few days. Then he had a dream. The Lord appeared to him and told him, he heard the voice, he couldn't see actually. The Lord is telling him that don't think that this form is incomplete form. In this form, I'm present in the spiritual world. So do the proper shringar of my form and worship me. So this is how Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra appeared. The Lord assured that this is not an incomplete form. By his transcendental will, he has appeared. So this is the day when the deity was completed. On Jyeshta Purnima, this is the full moon today, in the month of Jyeshta. Bengal, in Indian months are counted this way: Vaishakh, Jyeshta, like then Ashar, Shravan, Bhadra, Ashwin. And so in this month, on this day, the Purnima day, full moon day, the Lord appeared. So, Lord, on this day, he's bathed from his altar, Garbhagriha, from the Sanctum Sanctorum, where the Lord is usually situated. He comes down into this bathing area. And with 108 pots of water, the Lord is bathed. And so after the bathing, he is dressed and offered prasad. But then another transcendental pastime of the Lord takes place. Like he becomes sick. Therefore, he is taken into the sick room. And nobody can get the darshan of the Lord at that time. This 15 plus 2, 16, 17 days actually, 16 days. On the second day of the moon, waning moon. No, I'm sorry, waxing moon. The Rath Yatra takes place. And so the Lord is sick for this period. And during this time, although Lord takes Chappan Bhog, 56 offerings, but now he takes only what is called the sick food, just soup and fruit juice, no solid food. And nobody can see him, he is now sick. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, due to the separation from Lord Jagannath during this time, he used to go to Alarnath because he couldn't stay without having the darshan of the Lord. So he used to go to Alarnath, which is about, I think, 24 kilometers away from Puri. So this is the Snan Yatra festival. And ISKCON, all ISKCON temples where Lord Jagannath is there. This is a grand festival. And as I mentioned, he becomes sick and he is bedridden. He doesn't come out. He's not allowed to eat anything, only some medicine and some liquid food. And then he comes out, the chariot festival, Jagannath festival. So he goes to, the understanding is, Kurukshetra, Krishna actually came to Kurukshetra on the occasional solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse is over and everyone is about to leave from Kurukshetra. The gopis, who also came, the residents of Vrindavan came to Kurukshetra to take bath in Shamanta Panchak. And after taking bath, they were about to leave, and they got the news that Krishna was there. Krishna also came to take bath in Shamanta Panchak on the occasion of solar eclipse. So they just ran to meet Krishna. After 100 years of separation, they're seeing Krishna, whose separation, even for a wink of an eye, they couldn't tolerate. The eyes blink. So during that time, gopis couldn't see Krishna. And they kind of scolded Brahma. What kind of body you made that the eyes blink? And as a result of that, we cannot see Krishna. What kind of a creator you are? So the girls who could not tolerate the separation from even a blink of an eye, they didn't see Krishna for 100 years. So naturally, they were so excited. But Radharani, when she saw Krishna, she felt, no, this is not the Krishna I knew. Our Krishna wears a peacock feather on his head. But this Krishna is wearing a crown. Our Krishna wears a forest flower garland. And this Krishna is wearing all these precious ornaments. Our Krishna wears a yellow silk cloth. This Krishna is dressed in royal robe. Our Krishna has a flute in his hand, but this one has sword and weapons. So in this way, Radharani was not happy to see Krishna that way. So Radharani's followers, the gopis, could understand Radharani's mind. So they felt that she's not happy seeing Krishna in this way, in this place. which is so full of noise and so many people. So they got hold of the chariot along with the horses, and they started to pull the chariot towards Vrindavan. So that is the festival of chariot, Rath Yatra festival. So this festival is actually taking Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. Kurukshetra is in between Dwarka and Vrindavan. Krishna of Dwarka came to Kurukshetra, and now the gopis are taking him to Vrindavan. Gopis are kidnapping Krishna to Vrindavan. So that is the festival. And this is how Lord Jagannath appeared. This is how the chariot festival, this is what the chariot festival signifies. So these are these just some stories, some fairy tales? No. These are all factual. Doesn't matter what other people think, but our understanding is very clear. This is Krishna, and Krishna can perform any pastime. Krishna can do anything. And what to speak of such a wonderful, loving exchange with his devotees. So we accept it wholeheartedly. So this was the chariot festival of Lord Jagannath. This is the occasion of Snan Yatra. And so today, in different temples where Lord Jagannath is present, Jagannath will have a Snan Yatra festival. Ujjain is also will be celebrating the Snan Yatra festival. And this year we can't have Rath Yatra because of the pandemic. But we are going to have virtual Rath Yatra. I was told that in New York they'll have a virtual Rath Yatra. They wanted to have also classes, so they requested me to speak the Rath Yatra day in the evening. So, in one hand, we are locked down, but very mercifully, Krishna made this arrangement that somehow we can have this Rath Yatra festival. And I'll be eagerly looking forward to seeing that virtual Rath Yatra in our computers. So, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.
Question from Diego Prabhupada.
Yeah. So there are some questions. So question from Dhiragaura Das. He is the president of Ujjain Temple. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your holiness. It is very astonishing to know that Vishwavashu got the sole privilege to worship the deity from the Lord at an age when no deities were available. Certainly he was one of the great devotees of the Lord. Is there any reason for this exclusive mercy of the Lord on Vishwavashu, which enabled him to worship the deity, although being born in a Savara family? Very good question, Dhiragora. You see, deity worship or relationship with the Lord, service to the Lord, can be rendered in two ways. One is through Vaidhi Bhakti, following the rules and regulations of the scriptures, and the other is Raganuga Bhakti, out of spontaneous love. So here we can see that the relationship that Vishwavashu had with Madan Mohan was in Raganuga, not Vaidhi. Just out of his love. And due to his love, the Lord manifested, even though he was a Shavara. So that indicates that even a Shavara, even an outcast, can have the opportunity to develop his relationship with the Supreme Personality of God. Anybody can develop the relationship with the Lord. And the Lord reciprocates. So here we can see that although Raganuga Bhakti was not prevalent in Satyuga, but Vishwavashu was blessed with that. Due to his love for the Lord, he could have the association. And our scripture says, Chandalupidija Srishta Hari Bhakti Para. When even a Chandal develops his loving relationship with Krishna, bhakti unto Krishna, he becomes even superior to a Brahman. Because when one develops his relationship with the Lord, he becomes a Vaishnava. And the status of a Vaishnava is even superior to Brahmins. And that's why it says that a Vaishnava is superior to Brahman. Brahman is situated in the mode of goodness, whereas a Vaishnava, devotee of the Lord, is situated in the mode of pure goodness, in the spiritual world, beyond material nature. Material goodness, the goodness in the material nature, is not pure. It's mixed with desire for enjoyment and desire for liberation. Jnana karma anabhutam. That's pure devotional service. More questions? Okay, Samarpita Radhika, New York. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. First, I would like to thank you a lot for your precious association through the Nectarian classes and japa sessions. You are giving us 3 times a day. It is working as a medicine to increase our sincerity towards Krishna consciousness. Although I am reading in Bengali, I am asking the question in English, as I don't know how to type in Bengali. I answered the question.
Yeah, this is actually scrolled up.
Oh, okay. So next question is from Kalindi Mohan Das, Ujjain. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for your wonderful association. We are missing you at Ujjain. Can you please explain how Lord Jagannath appeared at ISKCON Ujjain? Okay. Because when I came to Ujjain, we naturally had the deities of Radha Madan Mohan, Krishna Balaram, and Gauranga. Then we started the midday meal project, where we were feeding 25,000 school children. It's a government program, so we are doing it on behalf of the government or along with the government. And we wanted to have prasad. Now, to take prasad from the temple to there or make the offering all the way to the temple would have been difficult. So I decided to have a deity of Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. And mainly because Lord Jagannath actually appeared from Ujjain, or for the sake of the king of Ujjain, King Indradumna. Therefore, we decided to have the Jagannath worship also. We started. That's it. Thank you. So all of you have a very nice Snan Yatra festival and take full advantage of the lockdown and develop very nice atmosphere there and take full advantage of make this opportunity to make spiritual advancement. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and I wish all of you a very wonderful Snan Yatra festival and also a very wonderful Rath Yatra festival. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hare